Oh.
Good guy. Keep an eye on him.
You gotta stay out of the sun. You know?
Oh, it's okay. I have sunblock. She's delicious.
Oh, thanks.
Good. I don't know why you chose the Wolfman over a vampire. This one's already dressed like a vampire.
Yeah.
Being dragged by Dracula. Monsters.
Anyway.
Back to the Future.
Monsters, Back to the Future. It's all happening. So we hear them as spoken word as part of the song, where they're, you know. This house has a lot of innovations. By that I mean things we've never tried to do in Horror Nights in the past that were completely born out of Ryan's movie, right? I think we'll start with the movie, right? When Sinners landed, obviously a huge hit, but not only a huge hit, huge critically acclaimed film. And when the Academy Award nominations rolled around, 16 Academy Award nominations, the most in the history of the Academy Awards ever. And it's a horror film. That's never happened, ever, you know. You have to go back to Silence of the Lambs, is I think the only horror movie that ever won Best Picture. But you could even argue that that's more a psychological thriller, you know. But even Sinners as a movie, it's a very unusual horror movie. It starts where the Smokestack Twins come into town and you're not sure, obviously they took some money from the, you know, probably like Capone in Chicago. It's not explicitly mentioned in the film. And they're trying to open this juke joint. And it kind of seems like it's one kind of movie, but as soon as Remick enters the picture with Bert and Joan, that first scene where he attacks them, it turns into something else. It turns into a movie about vampires. What Ryan did so brilliantly in that film, and why I think people embraced it so much, is he kind of reinvented the vampire story. But he did it with the old, my take on it is the Robert Johnson Devil at the Crossroads, if you're familiar with that story. If you're not, Robert Johnson was a famous early blues musician. The story about him was, he's all right, and then he disappeared for a while, and when he came back, his guitar playing was amazing, his singing was amazing, and the rumor was that he sold his soul to the devil at the crossroads. And then
She's just napping. It's a really nice film.
Enjoying the
well,
AC.
she came out.
Enjoy the AC.
They were playing a little tune. She came out to talk to them, and she got turned. And so this is Mary after she's been bit. Obviously, blood's the last thing we add.
Yeah.
But the live performer is Remick. This is the first time you see Remick.
Cool.
He's a face character, meaning he doesn't have a mask or anything on. He's got the glowing eye effect, and he is lip syncing to the opening, the a cappella opening of Rocky Road to Dublin that he does in the film. So he's just standing here in a kind of ecstasy moment, blood all over his face. He's just fed on her, and he's singing that a cappella intro to Rocky Road to Dublin. And as soon as you move past him, it's boom, boom, boom. So it's Bert and Joan, double scare, one from either side. And then when you get to the end of this section, it's now Mary, who's rejuvenated into a vampire. And it used to be in the theme park, like back in the 70s. Like Laurel and Hardy used to drive this around Universal Studios Hollywood when they were characters in the park. And so when that changed, we got this vehicle. So we keep it in storage year round. And then we have a whole bunch of vehicles that we own now. So when we were designing Sinners, we were like, oh, we have a 1925 Model A truck. Totally makes sense, because even though the movie takes place in the 30s, all of the people that are coming to Club Juke, you know, they're for the most part sharecroppers. They can't afford new cars, so they're all driving older 1920 vehicles. This is the facade for Club Juke. So what this we hear Cornbread's voice. He has that funny line in the film when he tries to get back into the club. He's like, we're supposed to be nice to one another, you know. He's all, so you're hearing him saying those lines, and then around the corner comes Cornbread. And we're doing the version of Cornbread after his face has been shot off. Cool. So it's all ripped apart. So that's a mask, but he has the glowing eyes as well. And the last thing we do is blood, so there'll be blood all over the place for him. Mary comes into the room first, live performer. We're gonna kill every one of you. And then Smoke comes in with his two pistols and boom, 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 boom. Shoots Mary, and she just takes the bullet hits and then retreats back into her scare, and then the scene repeats. You know, everything is trademarked. Everybody every product is owned by that entity, so you have to create fake ones. So we have all kinds of fake labels and fake product things that we've created over the years. They all have to get printed and applied to every single bottle. And then it's just sourcing, props and dressing that's appropriate to the time period. We have a really large off-site production facility that is very much like a prop warehouse. Like, I don't know if you've ever been to a prop warehouse at a movie studio. It's pretty much what it looks like. It's kind of like that last scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark with all the crates, It's just rows and rows and rows of crates stacked floor to ceiling, like way up in the air. People with forklifts, and it's all computer, data-based, so that our production designer, Chris, can go, okay, I need a door for this scene. Let me look into our inventory and see what kind of doors we have. And then he picks specific doors, he picks specific hardware. But then our prop and dressing crew, which are also, we have a head prop master, that's Tony Lindis. He's been with us since the very beginning of the event. But then he hires people from film and television. So they create a lot of stuff, they make stuff, they thrift like crazy. They go out into the communities and they do yard sales and thrifting and all just to try to find specific stuff to include in the houses to try to match whatever time period we're dealing with. I certainly did, yeah, and that's all about the cycle I talked about earlier. It's like trying to get your performers on this really fast, repeatable cycle. But like during training, I walked through here, I saw every one of them, yeah. But you're probably only in the scene 10 seconds, something like that. So it's a lot of chaos, but it's trying to really bring to life that moment in the film when that whole big battle just took place, because that's when the film really kicked into another level. I'll explain what happens next because it's a smaller. So we knew we needed an actual stunt man to do this, and then we engaged a flying company that does like Peter Pan on Broadway and stuff like that, where there's flying. So we've got a whole big huge winch flying system hidden behind the sets, so that Remick, and you'll walk past it, he can jump off, land right in front of you, Sammy, wham, take a swipe at you, and then zoop, fly up and disappear into the darkness. And he's got the same red glue. That was one of the last things we did with the glowing eyes. We're like, okay, the performers are good, now let's see if we can do it with a stunt. And so we did it with our stunt person, and it worked. So he's got that red glowing eye effect too. So we knew that he wanted to be part of Horror Nights. Okay. That we knew that was a desire on their side. And then obviously the movie blowing up, you're like, well, great, But I think in terms of how long we plan, so I'm 4 houses into 2027 in terms of design and the writing part of what I do. I've already completed all those treatments. We're literally designing houses for 27 while we're finishing 26. So it didn't used to be like that, but because Horror Nights has become so big, it's the equivalent of trying to make 8 movies at the same time, from a production standpoint. It's insane.